Gotta work those obliques. Hello guys, this is Brian Wentz of UB Fits, and today what we're going to be going over is 5 ab and oblique exercises that are a hell of a lot better than what you just saw. Now I see that in the gym all the time, that motion where someone grabs a kettlebell or a dumbbell and then just goes side to side. Now, when we're talking about the abs, the rectus abdominis, we're talking about the obliques. Now the obliques, there's external and internal obliques. Now they all basically do the same motions. The abs, what they do is spinal flexion, spinal lateral flexion, so that side to side motion, and then spinal rotation. The external obliques, what they do is spinal flexion, spinal lateral flexion, and then spinal contralateral rotation, which is a big word that means opposite side. So when I'm going and I'm rotating to my left, my right oblique is working. My right external oblique is working. Now the internal oblique, yet again, spinal flexion, spinal lateral flexion, and then spinal ipsilateral rotation. Another big word, just means same side. So when I'm rotating to my left internal oblique is activating. So all together, they do the same motions: flexion, lateral flexion, and rotation. So when we see people trying to go and just go side to side like that, one, we don't get proper contractions on the obliques or the abdominis just due to the torque involved and our placement of the weight in respect to gravity. So what we're going to be going over today are 5 exercises for your rectus abdominis, your internal oblique, and your external oblique that are a lot better than what you just saw and a lot better than a lot of exercises people are doing today. They're going to utilize, for the most part, all 3 of those functions. So the first one is going to be a cable rotation or a cable pull side to side. All right, so it's just normal rotation first. Now you can place your hands either overlapping like such. Personally, I like to do is hands, side that's grabbing, and then the side that's gonna pull over that hand. Now first, we'll make sure those arms straight, shoulders back, so driving that bottom of your sternum up towards the ceiling. And now, going back to stabilization, going back to how stability can change how difficult an exercise is. When my feet are wider, that makes it easier because now we're more stable, we have a better foundation. Closer together, and now it's a little bit more unstable, harder to do. So play around with that. You don't necessarily need to change the weight. You can always play around with where your feet placement is as well. So the first one we're going to be doing is, I'm going to show you two variations of this one. Is one more isolated, just working the abs and the obliques, which is keeping the legs and hips locked. How we do that is we squeeze the glutes, we try to drive that into hip extension as best we can, and then we go, set up, make sure shoulders back, sternum up, arms straight, and then we rotate and rotate, making sure those hips don't turn, all right? Now, to make it a little more athletic, is we are going to add kind of like a full body rotation. And what that looks like, yet again, starting up basically the same, and then when we rotate, we're kicking back, trying to lock out those glutes, trying to lock out the ankle, and rotating our whole hip. Now that is going to be a little more athletic, like our baseball players, tennis players, getting that kind of rotation, and so on and so forth. Now you want to do both sides. So, then the next one, same idea, but now it's going to be a cable pull corner to corner. The reason why I'm going top to down is that implies more spinal flexion. So, same starting position. Now you can do it yet again both ways. You could either have that isolated where keeping our hips straight and locked, and then just going down and down, or a little more athletic and then a nice little rotation and locking out. So those are the first 2. It's good to incorporate both methods. Having both just a normal rotation and then a rotation top to down. You don't have to do it with the bands. You can also do it with a cable machine. It's just gonna be a little bit different on how your body kind of reacts to the weights. With bands, the weight increases as we move further down, so the hardest part is going to be at that furthest position, versus with a cable machine, the hardest part is going to be in which there's the most torque, which is going to be in that center position. So the next one, the third exercise, is a Mason twist or Russian twist, depending on what you call them. Now normally when people do this, they're going to be here and they just tap, 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 and tap. Now, my problem with that is that's a little too easy. Most people are fine with doing that. Of course, the progression would be feet on the floor, lean back, and then rotate until you're able to get your feet off the ground and rotate. And once that's too easy as well, start incorporating weights. Now, my reason why this is a great core exercise, a great ab and oblique exercise, is one, we get, especially when we have weights, when we rotate, that forces a lot more on the rectus abdominis, internal and external obliques, as well as by incorporating a lot of instability. Now we're feet off the ground, just on our butts. Now we get a lot more intrinsic core stabilizers as well. So while the primary motion is activating the rectus abdominis and the obliques, the whole motion altogether incorporates a lot more athleticism and coordination, incorporating a lot more muscles than what we're initially trying to drive. All right, so for the fourth exercise, we have what's called a plank with a bottom twist. Now, when we're doing core exercises or ab exercises, it's good to have top motions as well as bottom motions, especially when we're talking about rotation and flexion. So that's why I incorporated this one. We're going to be in a plank position, which already when we're bracing, we're going to be having, a whole lot of muscles, but we're going to be having the rectus abdominis and the obliques involved. Make sure we're isometrically, which no motion is activating, stabilizing our body, supporting our body. But now with the bottom rotation, well now, especially if we posteriorly tilt our hips, yet again driving, squeezing the glutes, driving the bottom of the hip down, tucking in, that's going to activate the abs, especially the lower abs. And then with that rotation, and now we're going to get rotation, a little bit of flexion, yet again incorporating the rectus abdominis and the obliques. So we're going to start in a plank position. So make sure to squeeze our shoulder blades, squeeze our glutes, so everything's nice and tight. And then now when we're here, we're going to rotate. Kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out. Try to make sure over time we're not hiking up and we're not driving our shoulders back. Shoulders should be over the elbows, glutes tucked. Keep those hips nice and low. Nice and low. And that is the plank bottom twist. For the fifth exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a power move, something explosive. So that's why I have this ball right here. Now, make sure you understand how much the ball you're using bounces. This one doesn't bounce a whole lot. There's others that bounce a lot. Be careful, make sure you don't hit yourself, hit others. We don't want any injuries happening. So what this is going to be a very similar position to the cable rotations. So we're just going to make sure we're explosive in the manner. Try to pick a ball about 5-10% your body weight. I'm about 180. I picked something 20 pounds, so this might be a little bit hard for me. Progressions. Now you could go in the scooping method, so having the ball kind of a little bit to your hip, and then we toss, and toss, toss. And I'm still rotating with there, because it's an explosive manner. If we go and we just stay there, well now I can't catch it. We will make sure we lead into it. Now, a little bit harder is going to be straight, side to side, complete lateral. So now we're here, and then we toss, and then we toss, and then we toss. Yet again, if we don't have that rotation, and we're just tossing, it's gonna be a lot harder. We're gonna notice probably some shoulders rounding, or just not catching the ball in general. So that's my top five, or the five exercises that I want you to do in the gym for the rectus abdominis the internal and the external oblique. So we have cable pulls side to side, cable pulls corner to corner. We have the Mason twists, variations of that, how to progress with that. We have the plank with the bottom twist, and then we have something a little bit more advanced. Definitely don't start with this one. Explosive move, a lateral ball slam. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you guys next time with future core exercises. We're going to continue on with this trend, helping you guys, making sure that you train your core appropriately and making sure that you're doing the right core exercises for the muscles you're trying to activate. Thank you so much. This has been Brian Wentz of UB Fit.